This play is called Our Town. It was written by Thornton Wilder. The name of the town is Grover's Corners, New Hampshire, just across the Massachusetts line. Latitude 42 degrees, 40 minutes, longitude 70 degrees, 37 minutes. The first act shows a day in our town. The day is May 7th, 1901. The time is just before dawn. The sky is beginning to show some streaks of light in the east there behind our mountain. The morning star always gets wonderful bright the minute before it has to go, doesn't it? Well, I'd better show you how our town lies. Up here is Main Street. Way back there is the railway station. Tracks go that way. Polish towns across the tracks and some Canuck families. Over here is the Congregational Church. Presbyterians across the street. Methodist and Unitarian are over there. Baptist is down in the hollow by the river. Catholic churches beyond the tracks. Here's the town hall and post office combined. Jail's in the basement. Brian once made a speech from these very steps here. Along here is a row of stores, hitching posts and horse blocks in front of them. The first automobiles going to come along in about 5 years belong to Banker Cartwright, our richest citizen. Lives in the big white house up on the hill. Here's the grocery store and Mrs. Morgan's drugstore. Most everybody in town manages to look into these two stores once a day. Public school's over yonder, high school's still further over. 8:45 mornings, noon times, and 3 o'clock afternoons, the whole town can hear screaming and yelling from these two schoolyards. Here's our doctor's house, Doc Gibbs. This is the back door. Here's some scenery for those who think that they have to have scenery. This is Mrs. Gibbs' garden. Corn, peas, beans, hollyhocks, heliotrope, and a lot of burdock. In those days, our newspaper would come out twice a week, the Grover's Corners Sentinel. And this is Editor Webb's house, and this is Mrs. Webb's garden, just like Mrs. Gibbs, only with a lot of sunflowers too. Right here is a big butternut tree. Nice town, you know what I mean? Nobody very remarkable ever come out of it, so far as we know. The earliest tombstones up in the cemetery say 1670 to 1680. They're Grovers and Cartwrights and Gibbses and Herseys, same names as there are around here now. Well, as I said, it's about dawn. The only lights on in town are down in the cottage by the tracks where a Polish mother's just had twins, and down at the Joe Crowell house where Joe Jr. is getting up so as to deliver the paper, and down at the depot where Shorty Hawkins has just flagged the 545 for Boston. Naturally, out in the country, all around, there have been lights on for some time now, what with Milkins and so on. But townspeople sleep late, so another day's begun. There's Mr. Gibbs coming down Main Street, coming back from that baby case. And there's his wife, Mrs. Gibbs, coming downstairs to make her breakfast. Doc Gibbs died in 1930. The new hospital is named after him. Mrs. Gibbs died first, long time ago in fact. She went out to visit her daughter Rebecca, who married an insurance man in Canton, Ohio. She died there, pneumonia. But her body was brought back here. She's up in the cemetery now, in with a whole mess of Gibbses and Herseys. She was Julia Hersey before she married Doc Gibbs in the Congregational Church over there. In our town, we like to know the facts about everybody. And there's Mrs. Webb coming downstairs to make her breakfast too. And there's Doc Gibbs, got that call at 1:30 this morning. And there's Joe Crowell Jr. delivering Mr. Webb's Sentinel.
Morning, Doc Gibbs.
Morning, Joe.
Somebody been sick, Doc?
Pair of twins born over in Polish town.
Would you like your paper now?
Yes, I'll take it. Anything serious going on in the world since Wednesday?
Yes, sir. My school teacher, Miss Foster, she's getting married to a fellow over in Concord.
I declare. How do you boys feel about that?
Well, of course, it's none of my business, But I think if a person starts out to be a teacher, she ought to stay one.
How's your knee, Joe?
Fine, Doc. I don't think about it often. Only like you said, it always tells me when it's gonna rain.
What's it telling you today? Gonna rain?
No, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
You ever make a mistake?
No, sir.
Want to tell you something about that boy Joe there. Awful bright Joe was. Went to high school here. Graduated head of his class. So, he got a scholarship to Massachusetts Tech. Graduated head of his class there too. It was all written up in the Boston papers at the time. Going to be a great engineer, Joe was. But the war broke out, and he died in France. All that education for nothing.
Get up, Bessie. What's the matter with you today?
Here comes Howie Newsom delivering the milk.
Morning, Doc.
Morning, Howie.
Somebody sick?
No, just some twins born over to Mrs. Goroslowski's.
Twins, eh? This town's getting bigger every year.
Gonna rain, Howie?
No, fine day. That'll burn through. Come on, Bessie.
Hello, Bessie. How old is she, Howie?
Going on 17. Bessie's all mixed up about the route ever since the Lockharts stopped taking their quart of milk every day. She wants to leave him a quart just the same. Keep scolding me the whole trip.
Good morning, Howie.
Morning, Mrs. Gibbs. Doc's just coming down the street.
Is he? Seems like you're late today.
Yes, something went wrong with the separator. Don't know what it was. Doc?
Howie.
Children, time to get up. Come on, Bessie. George, Rebecca.
Everything all right, Frank?
Yes, I declare. Easy as kittens.
Bacon will be ready in a minute. Sit down and drink your coffee. You can catch a couple hours sleep this morning, can't you?
Mrs. Wentworth's coming at 11. Guess I know it is about 2. Her stomach ain't what it ought to be.
Oh, well, all told, you won't get more than 3 hours of sleep. Frank Gibbs, I don't know what's to become of you. I do wish I could get you to go away someplace and take a rest. I think it would do you good.
Emily, time to get up. 7 o'clock.
Oh, I declare, you've got to speak to George. Something's come over him lately. He's no help to me at all. I can't even get him to chop me some wood.
Is he sassy to you?
No, he just whines. All he thinks about is that baseball. George, Rebecca, you'll be late for school.
George, look sharp.
Yes, Pa?
Don't you hear your mother calling you? I guess I'll go upstairs and get 40 winks.
Emily, Wally, time to get up. Wally, you wash yourself good or I'll myself.
Ma, what dress I wear?
Shh, don't make a noise. Your father's been out all night and needs his sleep. I washed and ironed the blue gingham out for you special.
Ma, I hate that dress.
Oh, hush up with you.
Every day I go to school just like a sick turkey.
Now, Rebecca, you always look very nice.
Mama, George is throwing soap at me.
I'll come and slap the both of you, that's what I'll do.
We've got a factory in our town, too. Hear it? Makes blankets. Cartwrights own it, and it brung 'em a fortune. Children, now I won't have it. Breakfast is just as good as any other meal, and I won't have you gobbling it like wolves. It'll stunt your growth, and that is a fact. Put away that book, Wally.
Ma, by 10 o'clock, I got to know all about Canada.
You know the rules as well as I do. No books at the table. And as for me, I'd rather have my children healthy than bright.
I'm both, Mama. You know I am. I'm the brightest girl in school for my age. I have a wonderful memory.
Eat your breakfast.
I'm bright too. When I'm looking at my stamp collection.
Well, I'll speak to your father about it when he's rested. Seems to me 25 cents a week's enough for a boy your age. I declare I don't know how you spend it all.
Ma, I've got a lot of things to buy.
Strawberry phosphates, that's what you spend it on.
I don't see how Rebecca comes to have so much money. She has more than $1.
I've been saving up gradual.
Well, dear, I think it's a good thing to spend some every now and then.
Mama, do you know what I love most in the world? Do you? Money.
Eat your breakfast.
Mama, that's for spell.
I gotta hurry.
I don't want any more.
I gotta hurry.
Walk fast, but you don't have to run. Wally, pull up your pants at the knee. Oh, stand up straight, Emily.
Tell Miss Foster I send my best congratulations. Can you remember that?
Yes, Ma.
You look real nice, Rebecca. Pick up your feet.
Goodbye.
Here, chick, chick, chick. Oh, Go away, you. Go away. Here, chick, chick, chick. What's the matter with you? Fight, fight, fight. That's all you do. You don't belong to me. Where'd you come from? Oh, don't be so scared. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Good morning, Myrtle. How's your cold?
Well, I still get that tickling feeling in my throat. I told Charles I didn't know as I go to choir practice today. Wouldn't be any use.
Have you tried singing over your voice?
Yes, but somehow I can't do that and stay on the key. Well, resting myself, I thought I'd string some of these beans.
Oh, let me help you. Beans have been good this year.
I've decided putting 40 quarts if it kills me. The children say they hate him, but I notice they're able to get him down all winter.
Now, Myrtle, I've got to tell you something, because if I don't tell somebody, I'll burst.
Why, Julia Gibbs?
Give me some more of those beans, will you? Myrtle, did one of those secondhand furniture men from Boston come to see you last Friday?
No.
Well, he called on me. At first, I thought he was a patient waiting to see Doc Gibbs, and he wormed his way into my parlor, and... Whew, Myrtle Webb, he offered $50 for Grandmother Wentworth's highboy as I'm sitting here.
Wait, Julia Gibbs!
He did, that old thing. Why, it was so big I didn't know where to put it. I almost gave it to Cousin Hester Wilcox.
Well, you're going to take it, aren't you?
I don't know.
You don't know. $350? What's come over you?
Well, if I could get the doctor to take it and go away someplace, I'd sell it like that. You know, Myrtle, it's always been the dream of my life to see Paris, France. Oh, I know it sounds crazy, I suppose, but I've been promising myself for years that if we ever had the chance...
How does the doctor feel about it?
Well, I did beat about the bush a little and say that if I got myself a legacy, that's the way I put it, I'd make him take me somewhere.
What did he say?
Oh, you know how he is. I haven't heard a serious word out of him since I'd known him. No, he said, it might make him discontented with Grover's Corners go traipsing about Europe. Better let well enough alone, he says. Every 2 years, he makes a trip to the battlefields of the Civil War, and that's enough treat for anybody, he says.
Well, Mr. Webbs just admires the way Dr. Gibbs knows everything about the Civil War. Mr. Webb is a good mind to give up on Napoleon and move over to the Civil War, only Dr. Gibbs, experts in the country, just makes him despair.
It's a fact. Dr. Gibbs is never so happy as when he's at Antietam or Gettysburg. The times we have walked over those hills, Myrtle, stopping at every bush and pacing it all out like we were going to buy it.
Well, if that second-hand man's really serious about buying it, Julia, you sell it. And then you'll get to see Paris, all right. Just keep dropping hints from time to time. That's how I got to see the Atlantic Ocean, you know.
I'm sorry I mentioned it. Only, it seems to me that at least once in your life you ought to go to a country where they don't talk in English and don't even want to.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. Now we're going to skip a few hours, but first we want a little more information on the town. Kind of a scientific account, you might say. So I've invited Professor Willard of our state university to sketch in a few brief details of our past history here. Is Professor Willard here?
I'm here.
May I introduce Professor Willard of our state university? Just a few brief details, Professor. Unfortunately, our time is limited.
Grover's Corners. Let me see. Grover's Corners lies on the old Pleistocene granite of the Appalachian Range. I may say it's some of the oldest land in the world. We're very proud of that. A shelf of Devonian basalt crosses it with vestiges of Mesozoic shale and sandstone outcroppings, but that's all more recent, 200, 300 million years old. Some highly interesting fossils, I may say unique fossils, have been found 2 miles out of town in Silas Peckham's cow pasture. They can be seen at the museum in our university at any time. That is, at any reasonable time. Shall I read some of Professor Grubber's notes on the meteorological situation, mean precipitation, etc.?
Afraid we won't have time for that, Professor. We might have a few words on our history of man here?
Oh, yes. Anthropological data. Early Amerindian stock, Cotahatchee tribes. No evidence before the 10th century of this era. Now, entirely disappeared. Possible traces in 3 families. migration toward the end of the 17th century of English brachiocephalic blue-eyed stock, for the most part. Since then, some Slav and Mediterranean...
And the population, Professor Willard?
Within the town limits, 2,640.
Just a moment, Professor.
Oh, yes, indeed. The population at the moment is 2,642. The postal district brings in 507 more, making a total of 3,149. Mortality and birth rates, constant. By McPherson's gauge, 6.032.
Thank you very much, Professor. We're all very much obliged to you, I'm sure.
Oh, not at all, ma'am, not at all.
This way, and thank you again. Now, the Political and Social Report, Editor Webb. Oh, Mr. Webb?
He'll be here in just a minute. He just cut his hand while he was eating an apple.
Thank you, Mrs. Webb.
Charles! Everybody's...
Mr. Webb is publisher and editor of the Grover's Corner Sentinel. That's our local paper, you know.
Well, I don't have to tell you, we're run here by a board of selectmen. All males vote at age 21. Women vote indirect. We're lower middle class, sprinkling of professional men, 10% illiterate laborers. Politically, we're 86% Republican, 6% Democrat, 4% Socialist, rest indifferent. Religiously, we're 85% Protestant, 12% Catholic, rest indifferent.
Have you any comments, Mr. Webb?
Very ordinary town, if you ask me. A little better behaved than most, probably a lot duller. But our young ones here seem to like it well enough. 90% of them settling down right here after graduating high school, even if they've been away to college.
Now, is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask Mr. Webb any questions about the town?
Editor Webb, is there much drinking in Grover's Corners?
Well, ma'am, I don't know what you'd consider much. Saturday nights, the farm hands go down to Ellery Greenoff's stable in Hollersome. We have one or two town drunks, but they're always having remorses every time an evangelist comes to town. No, ma'am, liquor ain't a regular thing in the home here, except in the medicine chest. Right good for snake bite, you know? Always was.
Oh, is there anyone in town aware of...
Come forward, will you, where we can all hear you? What were you saying?
Is there anyone in this town aware of social injustice and industrial inequalities?
Oh, yes, everyone is. Something terrible. Seems they spend most of their time talking about who's rich and who's poor.
Then why don't they do something about it?
Well, I don't know. I guess we're all hunting, like everyone, for a way for the diligent and sensible to rise to the top, and the lazy and quarrelsome to sink to the bottom, but it ain't easy to find. Meanwhile, we do all we can to help those that can help themselves, and those who can't, we leave alone. Are there any other questions?
Oh, Mr. Webb? Mr. Webb, is there any culture or love of beauty in Grover's Corners?
Well, ma'am, there isn't much. Not in the sense you mean. Come to think of it, we play the piano at high school commencement, but they ain't happy about it. You're right, ma'am, there isn't much culture, but maybe this is the place to tell you we have a lot of pleasures of a kind here. We like the sun coming up over the mountains in the morning, and we all pay attention to the birds. We pay a lot of attention to them. And we all watch the changes of the seasons. Yes, we know what those are. But those other things, ma'am, you're right. There isn't much. Robinson Crusoe in the Bible, Handel's Largo. We all know those. And the Whistler's Mother. That's just about as far as we go.
So I thought. Thank you, Mr. Webb.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Now we'll go back to the town. It's early afternoon. All 2,642 have had their dinners and all the dishes have been washed. There's an early afternoon calm in our town. A buzzin' and a hummin' coming from the school buildings. Just a few buggies on Main Street. Horses dozing off at the hitching posts. You all remember what it's like. Doc Gibbs is in his office tapping people and making them say, ah. Mr. Webb is over there cutting his lawn. 1 man in 10 thinks it's a privilege to push his own lawnmower. No, sir, it's later than I thought. There are the children coming home from school already.
Come with
us? I can't, Louis. I've got to go home and help my mother. I promised. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Emily.
Goodbye, Mrs. Forrest.
Emily, walk simply. Who do you think you are today?
Papa, you're terrible. 1 minute you tell me to stand up straight, and the next minute you call me names. I just don't listen to you.
Golly, I've never had a hug from such a great lady before.
Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Forrest.
You go off and play in the fields, young man. You got no business playing baseball on Main Street.
Awfully sorry, Mrs. Forrest. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
You made a fine speech in class.
Well, I was really ready to make a speech about the Monroe Doctrine, but at the last minute, Miss Corcoran wanted me to talk about the Louisiana Purchase instead. I worked an awful long time on both of them.
Gee, it's funny, Emily. From my window up there, I can just see your head nods when you're doing homework over in your room.
Why, can you?
You certainly do stick to it, Emily. I don't see how you can sit still that long. I guess you like school.
Well, I always feel it's something you have to go through.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, really. It passes the time.
Yeah. Emily, what do you think if we can work out a kind of telegraph from your window to mine, and once in a while you can give me a kind of hint or two about one of those algebra problems? I don't mean the answers let me know. Of course not. Just some little hint.
Oh. I think hints are allowed, so if you get stuck, George, you whistle to me, and I'll give you some hints.
Emily, you're just naturally bright, I guess.
I figure that it's just the way a person's born.
Yeah. But, you see, I want to be a farmer, and my Uncle Luke says whenever I'm ready, I can come over and work on his farm. And if I'm any good, I can just gradually have it.
You mean the house and everything?
Yeah. Well, thanks. I better be heading out to the baseball field. Thanks for the talk, Emily. Oh, good afternoon, Mrs. Webb.
Good afternoon, George.
So long, Emily.
So long, George.
Emily, come help string these beans for the winter. George Gibbs let himself have a real conversation, didn't he? Why, he's growing up. How old would George be?
I don't know.
Let's see. He must be almost 16.
Mama, I made a speech in class today, and I was very good.
You must recite to your father at supper. What was it about?
The Louisiana Purchase. It was like silk off a spool. I'm going to make speeches all my life. Mama, are these big enough?
Try and get them a little bigger if you can.
Mama, will you answer me a question? Serious?
Seriously, dear, not serious.
Seriously. Will you?
Of course I will.
Mama, am I good looking?
Of course you are. All my children have got good features. I'd be ashamed if they hadn't.
Oh, Mama, that's not what I mean. What I mean is, am I pretty?
I've already told you, yes. Now, that's enough of that. You have a nice, young, pretty face. Never heard of such foolishness.
Oh, Mama, you never tell us the truth about anything.
I am telling you the truth.
Mama, were you pretty?
Yes, I was, if I do say it. I was the prettiest girl in town next to Mammy Cartwright.
But Mama, you gotta say something about me. Am I pretty enough to get anybody, to get people interested in me?
Emily, you make me tired. Now, stop it. You were pretty enough for all normal purposes. Now, come along and bring that bowl with you.
Oh, Mama, you're no help at all.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. I'm afraid I'll have to interrupt again here. Thank you, Mrs. Webb, and thank you, Emily. Now, I think this is a good time to tell you that the Cartwright interests have just begun building a new bank in Grover's Corners, and they had to go to Vermont for the marble, sorry to say. And they've asked a friend of mine what they should put in a cornerstone for people 1,000 years from now to dig up. Of course, they've put in the New York Times and a copy of Mr. Webb's Sentinel, This is all so interesting to us because some scientific fellas have figured out a way of painting all that reading matter with a glue, a silicate glue. That'll make it keep 1,000, 2,000 years. So we've put in the Bible and the Constitution of the United States and some copies of William Shakespeare's plays. What do you say, folks? What do you think? You know, Babylon once had 2 million people in it, yet all we know about them are the names of kings and some from the copies of the sale of wheat and contracts from the sale of slaves. Yet every night, all those families sat down for supper, and the father came home from work, and the smoke went up in the chimney, same as here. And even in Greece and Rome, all we can piece together about the real lives of people are what we can put together from the joking poems and comedies that they wrote for the theater back then. So, I'm going to have a copy of this play put into the cornerstone. That way, people 1,000 years from now will know a few simple facts about us, more than the Treaty of Versailles and the Lindbergh Flight. See what I mean? So, people 1,000 years from now, this is the way we were in the provinces north of New York at the beginning of the 20th century. This is the way we were in our growing up and in our marrying and in our living and in our dying. Well, a good deal of time's gone by. It's evening. You can hear the choir practicing in the congregational church. The children are up doing their schoolwork. The day's running down like a tired clock.
Now look here, everybody. Music, come into the world to give pleasure. Softer. Softer. Get off your heads, the music's only good when it's loud. You leave loudness to the Methodists. You couldn't even beat them if you wanted to. Now again, tenors.
Emily?
Hello.
Hello.
I can't work at all. The moonlight's so terrible.
Emily, did you get the answer to the third problem?
Which?
The third.
Why, yes, George, that's the easiest of them all.
I just don't see it. Emily, can you give me a hint?
I'll tell you one thing. The answer is in yards.
In yards? How do you mean?
In square yards.
Oh, in square yards?
Yes, George, don't you see?
Yeah.
In square yards of wallpaper.
Wallpaper. Oh, I see. Thanks a lot, Emily.
You're welcome. My, isn't the moonlight terrible? And choir practice going on? I think if you hold your breath, you could hear the train all the way to Contois. Hear it?
Mm-hmm. What do you know?
Well, I guess I better go back and try to work.
Good night, Emily, and thanks.
Good night, George.
Now, before I forget it, how many of you will be able to come in Tuesday afternoon and sing at Fred Hersey's wedding? Show your hands. That'll be fine. That'll be right nice. We'll do the same music we did for Jane Trover just last month. Oh, now we'll do Art Thou Weary, Art Thou Languid. It's a question, ladies and gentlemen. Make it talk. Ready?
Oh, George, can you come down a minute?
Oh, yes, Paul.
Make yourself comfortable, George. I'll only keep you a minute. George, how old are you?
I'm 16, almost 17.
What do you want to do after school's over?
Well, you know, Pa, I want to be a farmer on Uncle Luke's farm.
You'll be willing, will you, to get up early and milk and feed the stock? And you'll be able to hoe and hay all day?
Sure I will. What do you mean, Pa?
Well, when I was in my office today, George, I heard a funny sound. And you know what it was? It was your mother chopping wood. There you see your mother getting up early, cooking meals all day long, washing and ironing, and she still has to go in the back and chop wood. I suppose she just got tired of asking you. She just gave up and decided it was easier to do it herself. And you eat her meals, and you put on the clothes she keeps nice for you, and you run like she's some hired girl we keep around the house, but don't like very much. Well, I knew all I had to do was call your attention to it. Here's a handkerchief, son. George, I've decided to raise your spending money 25 cents a week. Not, of course, for chopping wood for your mother. That's a present you give her. But because you're getting older, I imagine there are lots of things you must find to do with it.
Thanks, Pa.
Let's see. Tomorrow's your payday. You can count on it. Probably Rebecca will feel she ought to have some more too. Wonder where your mother could have been. Choir practice was never as late as this before.
It's only 8:30, Pa.
I don't know why she's in that old choir. She hasn't any more voice than an old crow. Traipsing around the streets at this hour of the night. Just about time you're retired, don't you think?
Yes, Pa.
Good night, Martha. Good night, Mr. Foster.
I'll tell Mr. Webb. I know he'll want to put that in the paper.
My, it's late.
Good night, Irma.
Real nice choir practice, wasn't it? Myrtle, Webb, look at that moon, will you? Potato weather for sure.
Naturally, I didn't want to say a word about in front of those others. But now that we're alone, really, it's the worst scandal that ever was in this town.
What? Simon Stimson. Now, Luella.
But Julia, to have the organist of a church drink and drunk year after year? You know he was drunk tonight.
Now, Luella, we all know about Mr. Stimson, and we all know about the troubles he's been through, and Dr. Ferguson knows too. And if Dr. Ferguson keeps him up there in his job, the best the rest of us can do is just not to notice it.
Not to notice it, but it's getting worse.
No, it isn't, Luella. It's getting better, and I've been in that choir twice as long as you have, and it doesn't happen anywhere near so often. I hate to go to bed on a night like this. I better hurry. Those children will be up till all hours. Good night, Luella.
Can you get home safe, Luella?
It's as bright as day. I can see Mr. Soames scowling through the window now. You think we've been to a dance the way the men folk carry on.
Well, we had a real good time.
You're late enough.
Why, Frank, it ain't any later than usual.
And you stopping at the corner to gossip with a lot of hens.
Now, Frank, don't be grouchy. Come out and smell the heliotrope in the moonlight. Isn't that wonderful? What'd you do all the time I was away?
Oh, I read, as usual. What were the girls gossiping about tonight?
Well, believe me, Frank, there's something to gossip about.
Simon Stimson far gone, was he?
Worst I'd ever seen him. How will that end, Frank? Dr. Ferguson can't keep forgiving him forever.
I guess I know more about Simon Stimson's affairs than anybody in this town. Some people ain't made for small-town life. I don't know how that'll end, but there's nothing we can do but just leave it alone. Come, get in.
No, not yet. Frank, I'm worried about you.
What are you worried about?
Well, I believe it's my duty to make plans for you to get a real rest and change, and if I get a legacy, well, I'm going to insist on it.
Now, Julia, there's no sense in going over that again.
Frank, you're just unreasonable.
Come on, Julia. It's getting late. First thing you know, you'll catch cold. I gave George a piece of my mind tonight. Reckon you'll have your wood chopped for a while anyway. No, start getting upstairs.
Oh, goodness, it's just so much to pick up, seems like. You know, Frank, Miss Fairchild always locks her front door every night. All those people up that part of town do.
They're all getting citified. That's the trouble with them. They haven't got nothing fit to burgle. Everybody knows it.
Get out, Rebecca. There's only room for one at this window. You're always spoiling everything.
Well, let me look just a minute.
Use your own window.
I did, but there's no moon there. George, do you know what I think? Do you? I think the moon's getting nearer, nearer, and it'll be a big explosion.
Rebecca, you don't know anything. If the moon were getting near, the guys that sit up all night with the telescopes would see it first, and they'd tell about it, and it'd be all in the newspapers.
George, is the moon shining over South America, Canada, and half the whole world?
Well, probably is.
9:30. Most of the lights are out. No, there's Constable Warren trying a few doors on Main Street. And there's Mr. Webb after putting his newspaper to bed.
Good evening, Bill.
Evening, Mr. Webb.
Quite a moon.
Yup.
All quiet tonight?
Simon Stinson is rolling around a little. Just saw his wife move out to hunt for him, so looked the other way. There he is now.
Good evening, Simon. Town seems to have settled down for the night. Good evening, Simon. Seems most of the town has settled down for the night. I guess we better too. Can I walk along a ways with you? Good night.
I don't know how that's gonna end, Mr. Webb.
He's seen a peck of trouble, one thing after another. Bill, if you see my boy smoking cigarettes, give him a word, will you? He thinks a lot of you.
I don't think he smokes no cigarettes, Mr. Webb. Least always not more than 2 or 3 a year.
I hope not. Well, good night, Bill.
Good night, Mr. Webb.
Who's there? Is that you, Myrtle?
No, it's me, Papa.
Why aren't you in bed?
I don't know. I just can't sleep yet, Papa. The moonlight's so wonderful. And the smell of Mrs. Gibbs' heliotrope. Can you smell it?
Yes. Having any troubles in your mind? Have you, Emily?
Troubles, Papa? No.
Well, I'll leave you be. But don't let your mother catch you. Good night, Emily.
Good night, Papa.
I never told you about that letter Jane Crowfoot got from her minister when she was sick. He wrote Jane a letter, and on the envelope, the address went like this. It said Jane Crowfoot, the Crowfoot Farm, Grover's Corners, Sutton County, New Hampshire, the United States of America.
What's funny about that?
But listen, it's not finished. The United States of America, continent of North America, Western Hemisphere, the Earth, the solar system, the universe, the mind of God, that's what it said on the envelope.
What do you know?
And the postman delivered it just the same.
What do you know?
That's the end of the first act, friends. There's a 15-minute intermission. Refreshments are being sold in the lobby. Can we get the house lights, please? Years have gone by. Yes, the sun's come up over 1,000 times. Summers and winters have cracked the mountains a bit away, and the rains have brought down some of the dirt. Some babies that weren't even born before have begun talking regular sentences, and a number of people who thought they were right young and spry have noticed that they can't bound up a flight of stairs without their hearts fluttering a little. All that can happen in 1,000 days. Nature's been pushing and contriving in other ways, too. A number of young people fell in love and got married. Yes, the mountains got bit away a few fractions of an inch. Millions of gallons of water went by the mill, and a new home was set up here and there under a new roof. Most everybody in the world gets married, you know what I mean? In our town, there are hardly any exceptions. Most everybody in the world climbs into their graves married. The first act was called daily life. This act is called love and marriage. There's another act coming after this. I reckon you can guess what that's about. So, it's 3 years later. It's 1904. It's July 7th, just after high school commencement. That's when most of our young people jump up and decide to get married. Just after they finish their final examinations in solid geometry and Cicero's orations, they suddenly feel themselves fit to be married. It's early morning. Oh, only this time it's been raining. It's been pouring and thundering. Mrs. Gibbs' garden and Mrs. Webb's over here, drenched. All those bean poles and pea vines, drenched. All yesterday down on Main Street, the rain looked like curtains being blown along. Here come Mrs. Gibbs and Mrs. Webb coming downstairs to make breakfast as if it were any ordinary day. Now, I don't have to point out to the women in my audience that these two ladies that they see before them cooked 3 meals a day, one for 20 years, the other for 40, and no summer vacation. They brought up 2 children apiece, washed and cleaned the house, and never a nervous breakdown. It's like what one of those Middle West poets said, you've got to love life to have life, and you've got to have life to love life. It's what they call a vicious circle.
Get up, Bessie.
Here comes Howie Newsom delivering the milk. And there's Cy Crowell delivering the paper like his brother before him.
Morning, Howie.
Morning, Cy. Anything in the papers I ought to know?
Nothing much, except we're losing about the best baseball pitcher Grover's Corners ever had, George Gibbs.
Reckon he is.
He could hit and run bases, too.
Yep, mighty fine ball player. Whoa, Bessie. I guess I can stop and talk if I have a mind to.
I don't see how he could give up a thing like that just to get married. Would you, Howie?
Can't tell, Cy. Never had no talent that way. You're up early, Bill.
Seeing if there's anything I can do to prevent a flood. The river's been rising all night.
Cy Crowell's all worked up here about George Gibbs retiring from baseball.
Yes, sir, that's the way it goes. Back in '84, we had a player side. Even George Gibbs couldn't touch him. Name of Hank Todd. Went down to Maine and became a parson. Wonderful ball player. Howie, how does the weather look to you?
Oh, it ain't bad. Think maybe it'll clear up for good.
Good morning, Howie. Do you think it's gonna rain again?
Morning, Mrs. Gibbs. It rained so heavy I think maybe it'll clear up.
Certainly hope it will.
How much did you want today?
Oh, I'm gonna have a house full of relations, Howie. Looks like I'll need 3 of milk and 2 of cream.
My mom says to tell you we both hope they'll be very happy, Mrs. Gibbs. No, they will.
Thanks a lot, Howie. Tell your mom I hope she gets there to the wedding.
Yes, she'll be there. She'll be there. She can. Morning, Mrs. Webb.
Oh, good morning, Howie. Yeah, I told you 4 quarts of milk, but I hope you can spare me another.
Yes, and the 2 of cream.
Will it start raining again, Howie?
Well, just saying to Mrs. Gibbs as how it may lighten up. My mom told me to tell you as how we both hope they'll be very happy, Mrs. Webb. No, they will.
Thank you, and thank her. And we're counting on seeing you at the wedding.
Yes, Mrs. Webb, we hope to get there. Couldn't miss that. Come on, Bessie.
Well, Ma, the day has come. You're losing one of your chicks.
Frank Gibbs, don't you say another word. I feel like crying every minute. Sit down and drink your coffee.
The groom's up shaving himself. Only there ain't an awful lot of shave. Whistling and singing, like he's glad to leave us. Every now and then he says, I do! In the mirror. But it don't sound convincing to me.
I declare, Frank, I don't know how he'll get along. I've arranged his clothes and seen to it that he's put warm things on. Frank, they are too young. Emily won't think of such things. He'll catch his death of cold within a week.
Julia, I was remembering my wedding morning.
Now don't you start that, Frank Gibbs.
I was the scariest young fellow in the state of New Hampshire. And when I saw you coming, I thought I'd make the mistake for sure. And when I saw you coming down that aisle, I thought you were the prettiest girl I'd ever seen. But the only trouble was I'd never seen you before. There I was in the Congregational Church, marrying a total stranger.
How do you think I felt? Frank, weddings are perfectly awful things. Farces, that's what they are. Here, I made you something.
Why, Julia Hersey, French toast.
It ain't hard to make, and I had to do something.
How'd you sleep last night, Julia?
Well, I heard a lot of the hours struck off.
Yes. I do get a shock every time I think of George setting out to be a family man. That great gangling thing. I tell you, Julia, there's nothing so terrifying in the world as a son. The relation of father and son is the darndest, awkwardest.
Well, mother and daughter's no picnic, let me tell you.
They'll have their troubles, that's for sure, I suppose. But that's none of our business. Everyone has a right to their own troubles.
Yes, people are meant to go through life 2 by 2. It ain't natural to be lonesome.
How'd you sleep last night, Julia? Wait. Do you know one of the things I was scared about when I first married you?
Oh, go along with you.
I was afraid we wouldn't have enough conversation material more than last us a few weeks. I was afraid we'd run out and eat our meals in silence, that's a fact. Well, you and I have been conversing for 20 years now, without any noticeable barren spells.
Well, good weather, bad weather, it ain't very choice, but I always find something to say. Oh, did you hear Rebecca stirring around upstairs?
No. Only day of the year, Rebecca hasn't been managing everybody's business up here. She's hiding in her room. I got the impression she's crying.
Oh, Lord's sakes, this has got to stop. Rebecca! Rebecca, come downstairs and get your breakfast.
Good morning, everybody. Only 5 more hours to live.
George Gibbs, where are you going?
Just stepping across the grass to see my girl.
Oh, now, George, you put on your overshoes. You don't go out of this house without you being prepared for it.
But Ma, it's just a step.
You'll catch your death of cold and cough all throughout the service.
George, do as your mother tells you.
From tomorrow on, you can kill yourself in all weathers, but while you're in my house, you'll live wisely, thank you. Maybe Miss Webb isn't used to callers at 7 in the morning. Here, take that cup of coffee first.
I'll be back in a minute. Good morning, Mother Webb.
Oh, goodness, you frightened me now. George, you can come in for a minute out of the wet, but you know I can't ask you in.
Why not?
George, you know as well as I do, the groom can't see his bride on his wedding day, not until he sees her in church.
Oh, that's just superstition. Good morning, Mr. Webb.
Morning, George.
Mr. Webb, you don't believe in that superstition, do you?
Well, there's a lot of common sense in some superstitions, George.
Millions have followed it, George, and you don't want to be the first to fly in the face of custom.
How is Emily?
She hasn't waked up yet. Haven't heard a sound out of her.
Emily's asleep?
No wonder. We were up till all hours, sewing and packing. Now, tell you what I'll do. I'll set you down here with Mr. Webb and drink this cup of coffee, and I'll go upstairs and see that Emily doesn't come down and surprise you. Oh, there's some bacon there too, but don't be long about it.
Well, George, how are you?
Oh, fine. I'm fine. Mr. Webb, what kind of sense could there be in a superstition like that?
Well, on her wedding morning, a girl's head have to be full of clothes, and one thing and another. Don't you think that's probably it?
Yes, I've never thought about that.
A girl have to be a mite nervous on her wedding day.
I wish a fellow could get married with all that marching up and down.
Every man who's ever lived has felt that way about it, George, but it hasn't been any use. It's the women folk who built up weddings, my boy. For a while, all on their own. A man looks quite small at his wedding, all those good women standing shoulder to shoulder, making sure the knot's tied in a mighty public way.
But you believe in it, don't you, Mr. Webb?
Yes, so, yeah. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing, and don't you forget that, George.
No, sir. Mr. Webb, how old were you when you got married?
Well, I'd been away to college. Mrs. Webb, she isn't much older than what Emily is now. Oh, age hasn't much to do with it. Not other things.
What were you going to say, Mr. Webb?
I don't know. Was I going to say something? George, I was thinking the other night of some advice my father gave me before I got married. Charles, he said, Charles, start out early showing who's boss. Best thing to do is to give an order, even if it don't make sense, just so she'll learn to obey. And he said, if anything about your wife irritates you, her conversation or anything, just get up and leave the house. That'll make it clear to her. And he said, never let your wife know how much money you have. Never.
Oh, well, Mr. Webb, I don't think I could.
So, I took the opposite of my father's advice, and I've been happy ever since. And let that be a lesson to you, George. Never take advice on personal matters. Never. George, are you going to raise chickens on your farm?
What?
Are you going to raise chickens on your farm?
Well, Uncle Luke's never been much interested. But I thought...
Well, a book recently came into my office, George, on the philo system of raising chickens. I want you to read it. I'm thinking of beginning in a small way in the backyard, and I'm going to put an incubator in the cellar.
Charles, are you talking about that old incubator again? I thought you two would be talking about things worthwhile.
Well, Myrtle, if you want to give the boys some good advice, I'll go upstairs and leave you two alone.
George, Emily's got to come downstairs and eat her breakfast. She sends you her love, but she doesn't want to lay eyes on you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, Myrtle, I guess you haven't heard of that older superstition.
What do you mean, Charles?
Since the cavemen, no bridegroom should see his father-in-law on the day of the wedding, or near it. Now remember that.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Webb. Now I'll have to interrupt again here. You see, we want to know how this all began, this wedding, this plan to spend a lifetime together. I'm awfully interested in how big things like that begin. You know how it is. You're 21 or 22, you make some decisions, then whoosh, you're 70. You've been a lawyer for 50 years, and that white-haired lady by your side has eaten over 50,000 meals with you. How do such things begin? George and Emily are going to show you the conversation that they had when they first knew that as the saying goes, they were meant for one another. But before they do that, I want you to remember something. I want you to remember what it was like to have been very young, especially the days when you were first in love, when you were like a person sleepwalking, and you couldn't quite see the street you were walking in, and you didn't quite hear everything that was said to you. You're just a little bit crazy. Will you remember that, please? Now, they'll be getting out of high school at 3 o'clock. George has just been elected president of the junior class, and it's June, which means that he'll be president of the senior class all next year. And Emily has just been elected secretary and treasurer. I don't have to tell you how important that is. Yep, here they are coming down Main Street now.
I can't, Louise. I've got to go home. Goodbye. Oh, Ernestine, can you come over tonight and do Latin? Isn't that Cicero the worst thing? Tell your mother you have to. Goodbye. Goodbye, Helen. Goodbye, Fred.
Oh, can I carry your books home for you, Emily?
Why, thank you. It isn't far.
Excuse me, just a minute, Emily. Say, Bob, yeah, if I'm a little late, start practice anyway, and give her some long high ones.
Goodbye, Lizzie.
Goodbye, Lizzie. I'm awfully glad you were elected too, Emily.
Thank you.
Emily, why are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
You've been treating me so funny lately.
Well, since you asked me, I might as well say it right out, George. Goodbye, Mrs. Corcoran.
Goodbye, Mrs. Corcoran. What is it?
I don't like the whole change that's come over you in the last year. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I've got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
Change? What do you mean?
Well, up to a year ago, I used to like you. A lot. And I used to watch you as you did everything, because we'd been friends so long. And then you began spending all your time at baseball. And you never stopped to speak to anybody anymore, not even to your own family you didn't. And George, it's a fact. You got awful, conceited, and stuck up. And all the girls say so. They may not say so to your face, but that's what they say about you behind your back. And it hurts me to hear them say it, but I've got to agree with them a little. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but I can't be sorry I said it.
I'm glad you said it, Emily. I never thought that such a thing was happening to me. I guess it's hard for a fella not to have faults creep into his character.
I always expect a man to be perfect, and I think he should be.
Well, I don't think it's possible to be perfect, Emily.
Well, my father is, and as far as I can see, your father is. There's no reason on earth why you shouldn't be too.
Well, I feel like it's the other way around, that men aren't naturally good, but girls are.
Well, you might as well know right now that I'm not perfect. It's not as easy for a girl to be perfect as a man because we girls are more nervous. No, I'm sorry I said all that about you. I don't know what made me say it.
Emily.
Now I can see it's not the truth at all, and I suddenly feel that it isn't important anyway.
Emily. Would you like to get an ice cream soda or something before you go home?
Well, thank you. I would.
Why, hello, George. Hello, Emily. What'll you have? Why, Emily Webb, what have you been crying about?
She just got an awful scare, Mrs. Morgan. She almost got ran over by that hardware store wagon. Everybody says that Tom Huckins drives like a crazy man.
Well, you sit down, Emily, and take a drink of water. You look all shook up. I tell you, you gotta look both ways before you cross Main Street these days. It gets worse every year. What'll you have?
I'll have a strawberry phosphate. Thank you, Mrs. Morgan.
No, Emily. Have an ice cream soda with me. 2 strawberry ice cream sodas, Mrs. Morgan.
2 strawberry ice cream sodas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There are 125 horses in Grover's Corners this minute I'm talking to you. The state inspector was in here yesterday, and now they're bringing in those things called automobiles. Why, the best thing to do is to just stay home. Why, I can remember what it was like when a dog could go to sleep all day in the middle of Main Street, and nothing would come along to disturb him. There they are. Enjoy them. Yes, Mrs. Ellis, what can I do for you?
They're so expensive.
No, don't you think of that. We're celebrating our election. And do you know what else I'm celebrating?
No?
I'm celebrating because I've got a friend who tells me all the things that ought to be told to me.
George, please don't think of that. I don't know why I said it. It's not true.
No, Emily. You stick to it. I'm glad you spoke to me like you did. But you'll see. I'm going to change so quick. You bet I'm going to change. And, Emily, I want to ask you a favor.
What?
Emily, if I go away to State Agricultural College next year, will you write me a letter once in a while?
I certainly will. I certainly will, George. It certainly seems like being away for years you'd get out of touch with things. Maybe letters from Grover's Corners wouldn't be so interesting after a while. Grover's Corners isn't a very important place when you think of all New Hampshire, but I think it's a very nice town.
The day wouldn't come when I wouldn't want to know everything that's happening here. I know that's true, Emily.
Well, I'll try to make my letters interesting.
You know, Emily, whenever I meet a farmer, I always ask him if he thinks it's important to go to agricultural school to be a good farmer.
Why, George?
Yeah, and some of them even say it's even a waste of time. You can get all those things anyway out of the pamphlets the government sends out. And Uncle is getting old. He's about ready for me to start taking over his farm tomorrow if I could.
My.
And like you say, Emily, being gone all that time in other places and meeting other people, gosh, if anything like that can happen, I don't want to go away. I guess new people aren't better than the old ones. I bet they almost never are. Emily, I feel like you're as good a friend as I've got. I don't need to go and meet the people in other towns.
But, George, maybe it's very important for you to go and learn all that about cattle judging and soils and those things. Of course, I don't know.
Emily, I'm going to make my mind up right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight.
Why, George, I don't see why you have to decide right now. It's a whole year away.
Emily, I'm glad you spoke to me about that fault in my character. What you said was right. But there was one thing wrong in it, and that's when you said that for a year I wasn't noticing people. And you, for instance, why? You say you were watching me when I did everything. I was doing the same about you all the time. Why, sure, I've always thought about you as one of the chief people I thought about. I've always made sure where you were sitting on the bleachers and who you were sitting with. And for 3 days now, I've been trying to walk home with you, but something always got in the way. Yesterday I was standing over against the wall waiting for you, and you walked home with Mrs. Corcoran.
George, life's so funny. How could I have known that? Why? I thought.
Listen, Emily, I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to agricultural school. I think that once you found a person that you're very fond of, I mean, a person who's very fond of you too, and likes you enough to be interested in your character, well, I feel like that's just as important as college is, even more so. That's what I think.
I think it's awfully important, too.
Emily.
Yes, George?
Emily, if I do improve and make a big change, would you be, I mean, could you be?
I am now. I always have been.
So I guess this is an important talk we've been having.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wait just a minute, Emily, and I'll walk you home. Mrs. Morgan, I've got to go home and get you the money to pay for this. It'll only take me a minute.
What's that, George Gibbs? Do you mean to tell me?
Yes, but I've had reasons. Look, here's my watch to keep until I come back with the money.
That's all right, George. You keep your watch. I'll trust you.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
I'll trust you 10 years, George, not a day over. Got all over your shock, Emily?
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Morgan. It was nothing.
I'm ready.
Well, now we're ready to get on with the wedding. There are a lot of things to be said about a wedding. There are a lot of thoughts that go on during a wedding. We can't get them all into one wedding, naturally, and especially not into a wedding at Grover's Corners, where they're awfully plain and short. In this wedding, I play the minister. That gives me the right to say a few more things about it. For a while now, the play gets pretty serious. You see, some churches say that marriage is a sacrament. I don't know quite what that means, but I can guess. Like Mrs. Gibbs said a few minutes ago, people were made to live 2 by 2. This is a good wedding. But people are so put together that there is a lot of confusion that goes on way down deep in people's minds, even at a good wedding. And we thought that ought to be in our play too. The real hero of this scene isn't on the stage at all, and you know who that is. It's like what one of those European fellas said. Every child born into the world is nature's attempt to make the perfect human being. We've seen nature pushing and contriving for some time now. We all know that nature's interested in quantity, but I think she's awfully interested in quality too. That's why I'm in the ministry. Oh, and don't forget all the other witnesses at this wedding, the ancestors, millions of them. Most of them set out to live 2 by 2 also, millions of them. Well, that's my sermon. 'Twa'n't very long anyway. I don't know why on earth I should be crying. I suppose there's nothing to cry about. It came over me at breakfast this morning. There was Emily eating her breakfast as she has for 17 years. And now she's going off to eat it at someone else's house. I suppose that's it. And Emily, she suddenly said, I can't eat another mouthful, and she put her head down on the table, and she cried. I've got to say it. You know, there is something downright cruel about sending our girls into marriage this way. I hope her girlfriends have told her a thing or two. It's cruel, I know, but I couldn't bring myself to tell her anything about it. I went into it blind as a bat myself. The whole world's wrong. That's what's the matter. There they come.
Hey, George! That's Yow! Hey, look at him, fellas. He looks scared to death. Yow!
Looks at one to see you, old geezer.
All right, that'll do. There used to be a lot of that in the old days, Rome and later. We're more civilized now, so they say.
George, what's the matter?
Mom, I don't want to grow old. Why is everyone pushing me so?
What, George, you wanted it?
No, Ma, listen to me.
No, listen. God, you're a man now.
Listen, Ma, for the last time I ask you, all I want to do is be a fella.
What, George, if anyone should hear you, now stop. Why, I'm ashamed of you.
What? Where's Emily?
George, you gave me such a turn.
Cheer up, Mom, getting married.
Let me catch my breath a minute.
Now, Mom, you said Thursday nights. Emily and I are coming to dinner every Thursday night. You'll see. Mom, what are you crying for? Come on, we've got to get ready for this.
I never felt so alone in my whole life. And George over there looking so... I hate him. I wish I were dead. Papa. Papa.
Emily, no, don't get upset.
But Papa, I don't want to get married.
Shh, Emily, everything's all right.
Why can't I stay for a while just as I am? Let's go away.
No, Emily, no, stop. Think a minute.
Don't you remember what you used to say? All the time you used to say, all the time that I was your girl. There must be lots of places we could go to. Well, I'll work for you. I could keep house.
Shh, Emily, you mustn't think of such things. You're just nervous. George, will you come here a minute? Why, you're marrying the best young fellow in the world. George is a fine fellow.
But Papa...
George, I'm giving away my daughter. Do you think you can take care of her?
I want to. Miss Webb, I want to try. Emily, I'm gonna do my best. I love you, Emily. I need you.
Well, if you love me, help me. All I want is someone to love me.
I will, Emily. Emily, I'll try.
And I mean forever. Do you hear? Forever and ever.
Come, they're waiting for us. Now you know it'll be all right. Come, quick.
Do you, George, take this woman, Emily, to be your wedded wife?
Perfectly lovely wedding. Loveliest wedding I ever saw. Oh, I do love a good wedding, don't you? Doesn't she make a lovely bride?
I do.
And do you, Emily, take this man, George, to be your wedded
Don't
husband?
know when I've been to such a nice wedding. But I always cry. I don't know why it is, but I always cry. I just like seeing young people happy, don't you? Oh, I think it's lovely.
I've married over 200 couples in my day. Do I believe in it? I don't know. M marries N, millions of them. The cottage, the go-karts, the Sunday afternoon drives in the Ford, the first rheumatism, the grandchildren, the second rheumatism, the deathbed, the reading of the will. Once in 1,000 times, it's interesting. Well, let's have Mendelssohn's Wedding March.
Aren't they a lovely couple? Oh, I've never been to such a nice wedding. I'm sure they'll be happy. As I always say, happiness, that's the great thing. The important thing is to be happy.
That's all the second act, friends. Now, Act 3 begins 9 years later, summer 1913. Gradual changes in Grover's Corners. Horses are getting rarer. Farmers are coming into town in Fords. Everybody locks their house doors now at night. Ain't been any burglars yet, but everybody's heard about them. You'd be surprised, though. On the whole, nothing really changes around here. This is certainly an important part of Grover's Corners. It's on a hilltop, a windy hilltop. Lots of sky, lots of clouds, often lots of sun and moon and stars. You come up here on a fine afternoon and you can see range on range of hills. Awful blue they are, up there by Lake Sunapee and Lake Winnipesaukee. And way up, if you've got a glass, you can see the White Mountains and Mount Washington, where Conway and North Conway is. And right here's our favorite mountain, Mount Monadnock, and all the towns that surround it, like Jaffrey and East Jaffrey, Peterborough and Dublin. And there, quite a ways down, is Grover's Corners. Yes, beautiful spot up here, mountain laurel and lilacs. I often wonder why people like to be buried in Woodlawn or Brooklyn when they can pass the same time around here up in New Hampshire. Over there are the Old Stones, 1670, 1680. Strong-minded people who came a long ways to be independent. Summer people walk around there and laugh at the funny words on the tombstones. It don't do any harm. And genealogists come up from Boston, get paid by city people looking for their ancestors. They want to make sure they're daughters of the American Revolution or of the Mayflower. I guess that don't do any harm either. Wherever you come near the human race, there's layers and layers of nonsense. Over there are some Civil War veterans, iron flags on their graves, New Hampshire boys, had a notion that the Union ought to be kept together, even though they'd never seen more than 50 miles of it themselves. All they knew was the name, friends, the United States of America. The United States of America. And they went and died about it. Here's a new part of the cemetery. Here's your friend, Mrs. Gibbs. And let me see. Here's Mr. Stimson, organist at the Congregational Church. And Mrs. Soames, who enjoyed the wedding so, you remember? Oh, and a lot of others. And there's editor Webb's boy Wallace, whose appendix burst on a Boy Scout trip to Crawford Notch. Yes, an awful lot of sorrow has sort of quieted down up here. People just wild with grief bring their relatives up to this hill. We all know how it is. And then time, and sunny days, and rainy days, and snow. We're all glad they're in a beautiful place, and we're coming up here when our fit's over. Now you see, there are some things we all know, but we don't take them out and look at them very often. We all know that something is eternal, and it ain't houses, and it ain't names, and it ain't earth, and it ain't even the stars. Everybody knows in their bones that something is eternal, and that something has to do with human beings. All the greatest people who have ever lived have been telling us that for 5,000 years, and yet you'd be surprised at how many people are losing hold of it. There's something way down deep about every human being that's eternal. Now, you know as well as I do, the dead don't stay interested in the living for very long. Gradually, they lose hold of the earth, and the ambitions they had, and the pleasures they had, and the things that they suffered, and the people that they loved, they get weaned away from the earth. That's the way I put it, weaned away. And the earth part of them stays here and burns away, burns out. And all that time, they slowly get indifferent to what's going on in Grover's Corners. They're waiting. They're waiting for something that they feel is coming, something important and great. Aren't they waiting for the eternal part of them to come out clear? Some of the things they're going to say maybe you'll hurt your feelings, but that's the way it is, you know. Mother and daughter, husband and wife, enemy and enemy. And what's left when memory's gone and your identity, Mrs. Smith? Well, there are some living people. There's Joe Stoddard, our undertaker, supervising a new made grave. And there's a Grover's Corners boy who left town to go out west.
Good afternoon, Joe Stoddard.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let me see now. Do I know you?
I'm Sam Craig.
Gracious sakes alive, of all people. I should have known you'd be back for a funeral. You've been away a long time, Sam.
Yes, I've been away over 12 years. I'm in business out in Buffalo now, Joe, but I was in the East when I got the news of my cousin's death. So I thought I'd combine things a little and come see the old home. You look well.
Yes. Yes, can't complain. Very sad our journey today, Samuel.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I always say I hate to supervise when a young person is taken. They'll be along in a few minutes now. I had to come here early. My son's supervising at the home.
Old Farmer McCarty. I used to do chores for her. After school. She had the lumbago.
Yes, we brought Farmer McCarty here a number of years ago now.
Why, this is my Aunt Julia. I'd forgotten that she'd... Of course. Of course.
Yes, Doc Gibbs lost his wife too, 3 years ago, about this time. And today's another pretty bad blow for him too.
That's my sister Carrie's boy, Sam. Sam Craig.
I'm always uncomfortable when they're around.
Simon.
Do they choose their own verses much, Joe?
No, not usual. Mostly the bereaved pick a verse.
Doesn't sound at all like Aunt Julia. There aren't many of those Hersey sisters left now. Let me see. Where are... I wanted to look at my father's and mother's.
Over there with the Craigs, Avenue F.
He was an organist at the church, wasn't he? Drank a lot, we used to say.
Nobody was supposed to know. He'd seen a peck of trouble. Took his own life, you know.
Oh. Did he?
Hung himself in the attic. They tried to hush it up, but of course it got around. He chose an epitaph. You can see it there. It ain't a verse exactly.
Why, it's just a few notes of music. What is it?
Oh, I wouldn't know. It was wrote up in the Boston papers at the time.
Joe, what did she die of?
Who?
My cousin.
Oh, didn't you know? She had some trouble bringing a baby into the world. It was her second, though. There's a little boy about 4 years old.
The grave's gonna be over here?
Yes, there ain't much more room over there among the Gibbses, so they're opening up a whole new Gibbs section over here by Avenue B. If you'll excuse me now, I see they're coming.
Who is it, Julia? My daughter-in-law, Emily Webb.
Well, I declare, the road up the hill must have been awful muddy. Julia, what did she die of?
In childbirth.
Childbirth. Why, I'd forgotten all about that. My, wasn't life awful? Oh, and wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful was it?
Simon, now remember.
I remember. I remember Emily's wedding. Oh, wasn't it a lovely wedding? I remember Emily reading the class poem at graduation exercises. She was one of the smartest girls to ever graduate from high school. Principal Wilkins would say so, time after time. I called on them at their new farm just before I died. Perfectly beautiful farm.
That's on the same road we used to live on.
Yup, right, Smart Farm. I always liked that hymn. I was hoping they'd sing a hymn.
Hello, Emily.
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Hello, Mother Gibbs.
Emily.
Hello. It's raining.
Yes. They'll be gone soon, dear. Just rest yourself.
It seems thousands and thousands of years since I... Papa remembered that was my favorite hymn. Oh, I wish I'd been here a long time. I don't like being new here. How do you do, Mr. Stimson?
How do you do, Emily?
Mother Gibbs, George and I had made that farm pit just the best place you ever saw. We thought of you all the time. We wanted to show you the new barn and a great long cement drinking fountain for the stock. We bought that out of the money you left us.
I did?
Don't you remember, Mother Gibbs? The legacy you left us. Why, it was over $350.
Yes. Yes, Emily.
Well, there's a patent device on the drinking fountain so that it never overflows, Mother Gibbs. And it never sinks below a certain mark they have there. It's fine. It won't be the same to George without me, but I think it's a lovely farm. Life people don't understand, do they?
No, dear. Not very much.
They're sort of shut up in little boxes, aren't they? I feel as though I knew them last 1,000 years ago. My boy's spending the day at Mrs. Carter's. Oh, Mr. Carter, my little boy's spending the day at your house.
Is he?
Yes. He loves it there. Mother Gibbs, we have a Ford, too. Never gives us any trouble. I don't drive, though. Mother Gibbs, when does this feeling go away? Of being one of them? How long does it?
Dear, just wait and be patient.
I know. Look, they're finished. They're going. Look, Father Gibbs is bringing some of my flowers to you. He looks just like George, doesn't he? Well, Mother Gibbs, I never realized before how troubled and how in the dark like persons are. Look at him. I loved him so. From morning till night. That's all they are. Troubled.
Little cooler than it was.
Yes.
That rain's cooled it off a little. Those northeast winds always do the same thing.
If it isn't the rain, it's a 3-day blow.
But Mother Gibbs, one can go back. One can go back there again into living. I feel it. I know it. Why, just then for a moment I was thinking about the farm, and for a minute I was there. And my baby was on my lap as plain as day.
Well, yes, of course you can.
I can go back there and live all those days over again. Why not?
All I can say is, Emily, don't.
But it's true, isn't it? I can go and live back there again.
Yes, some have tried, but they soon come back here.
Don't do it, Emily.
Emily, don't. It's not what you think it'd be.
But I won't live over a sad day. I'll choose a happy one. I'll choose the day I first knew that I loved George. Why should that be painful?
You not only live it, but you watch yourself living it.
Yes?
And as you watch it, you see the thing that they, down there, never know. You see the future. You know what's going to happen afterwards.
But is that painful? Why?
That's not the only reason why you shouldn't do it, Emily. When you've lived here longer, you'll see that our life here is to forget all that and think only of what's ahead and be ready for what's ahead. When you've been here longer, you'll understand.
But Mother Gibbs, how could I ever forget that life? It's all I know. It's all I had.
It's not wise, Emily. Really, it isn't.
But it's a thing I must know for myself. I'll choose a happy day anyway.
No. At least, choose an unimportant day. Choose the least important day of your life. It'll be important enough.
Then it can't be since I was married. Or since the baby was born. I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? I choose my 12th birthday.
All right. February 11th, 1899, a Tuesday. Do you want any special time of the day?
Oh, I want the whole day.
We'll begin at dawn. You remember it had been snowing for several days, but it had stopped the night before. They had begun clearing the roads. The sun's coming up.
There's Main Street. Why, there's Mrs. Morgan's drugstore before she changed it. And there's the livery stable.
Yes, this is 1899. This is 14 years ago.
Oh, that's the town I knew as a little girl. And look, there's the old white fence that used to be around our house. Oh, I'd forgotten that. Oh, I loved it so. Are they inside?
Yes. Your mother will be coming downstairs any minute to make breakfast.
Will she?
And you remember your father had been away for several days. He's coming back on the early morning train.
No.
He'd been away to his old college in Western New York at Clinton to make a speech.
There's Howie Newsom. And there's our policeman. But he's dead. He died.
Whoa, Bessie. Bessie. Morning, Bill.
Morning, Howie.
You're up early.
Been rescuing a party. Damn near froze to death down by Polish Tandar. Got drunk and out in the snowdrifts. Thought he was in bed when I shook him.
Why, there's Joe Crowell.
Good morning, Mr. Warren. Morning, Howie.
Children, Wally, Emily, time to get up.
Mama, I'm here. Oh, how young Mama looks. I didn't know Mama was ever that young.
You can come and dress by the kitchen fire if you like, but hurry. Oh, good morning, Howie. Ooh, it's cold.
10 below by my barn, Mrs. Webb.
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up.
Mama, I can't find my blue hair ribbon anywhere.
Just open your eyes, dear, that's all. I laid it out for you special on the dresser there. If it were a snake, it would bite you.
Yes. Yes.
Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mr. Webb. You're up early.
Just got back from my college up in New York State. Everything all right here?
Well, I was cut up this morning to rescue a Polish fella. Damn near froze to death he was.
We must get in the paper.
Twasn't much.
Papa!
Good morning, Mother.
How did it go, Charles?
Fine, I guess. I told him a few things. Everything all right here?
Yes, can't think of anything that's happened special. Been right cold. Howie Newsom says it's 10 below over to her barn.
Yes, well, it's colder than that over at Hamilton College. Students' ears are falling off. It ain't Christian. Paper have any mistakes in it?
None that I noticed. Coffee's ready when you want it. And Charles, don't forget, it's Emily's birthday today. Did you remember to get her something?
Yes. I have it right here. Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
Don't interrupt her now, Charles. You can see her at breakfast. She's slow enough as is. Hurry up, children. Now, I don't want to call you again.
I can't bear it. They're so young and beautiful. Why do they ever have to get old? Mama, I'm here. I'm grown up. I love you all, everything. I can't look at everything hard enough. Good morning, Mama.
Well, now, dear, a very happy birthday to my girl and a many happy returns. There are some surprises waiting for you on the kitchen table.
Oh, Mama, you shouldn't have. I can't. I can't.
But, birthday or no birthday, I want you to eat that breakfast good and slow. I want you to grow up and be a good, strong girl. That and the blue paper is from your Aunt Carrie, and I reckon you can guess who brought in the postcard album. I found it on the doorstep when I brought in the milk. George Gibbs. Must come over in the cold pretty early. Right nice of him.
Oh, George. I'd forgotten that.
Chew that bacon good and slow to help keep you warm on a cold day.
Oh, Mama, just look at me 1 minute so you really saw me. Mama, 14 years have gone by. I'm dead. You're a grandmother, Mama. I married George Gibbs, Mama. Wally's dead too, Mama. His appendix burst on a camping trip to North Conway. We felt just terrible about it, don't you remember? But just for a moment now, we're together. Mama, just for a moment, we're happy. Let's look at one another.
That and the yellow paper is something I found in the attic among your grandmother's things. You're old enough to wear it now, and I thought you'd like it.
And these are from you? Why, Mama, it's just lovely, and it's just what I wanted. It's beautiful.
Well, I hoped you'd like it. Hunted all over. Your Aunt Nora couldn't find one in Concord, so I had to send all the way to Boston. Wally has something for you, too. He made it in manual training class, and he's very proud of it. Be sure you make a big fuss about it. And your father has a surprise for you, too. Don't know what it is myself. Shh, here he comes.
Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
I can't go on. It goes so fast. We don't have time to look at one another. I didn't realize. So all that was going on and we never noticed. Take me back. Up the hill to my grave. But first, wait. One more look. Goodbye. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, Grover's Corners. Mama and Papa. Goodbye to clocks ticking and Mama's sunflowers and food coffee, and new iron dresses and hot baths, and sleeping, and waking up. Oh, Earth, you're too wonderful for anybody to realize you. Do any human beings ever realize life while they live it? Every minute.
No. The saints and poets, maybe. They do some.
I'm ready to go back.
Were you happy?
No. I should have listened to you. That's all human beings are, just blind people.
Look. It's clearing up. The stars are coming out.
Oh, Mr. Stimson, I should have listened to them.
Yes, now you know. Now you know. That's what it was like to be alive. To move about in a cloud of ignorance. Travel up and down on the feelings of those about you. To spend and waste time as though you had 1,000,000 years. To be at the mercy of one's own self-centered passion or another. Now you know that's the happy existence you wanted to go back to. Ignorance and blindness.
Simon Stimson that ate the whole truth, and you know. Emily. Look at that star. I forget its name.
My boy Joel was a sailor. He knew 'em all. He'd sit on porch evenings and tell 'em all by name. Yes, sir, wonderful.
A star's mighty good company.
Yes. Yes, 'tis.
There's one of them coming.
That's funny. Tain't no time for one of them to be here.
For goodness sake.
Mother Gibbs, it's George.
Dear, just rest yourself.
It's George.
And my boy Joel, who knew the stars, he used to say it took millions of years for that speck of light to get to the earth. Doesn't seem like a body could believe it, but that's what he used to say. Millions of years.
Goodness, that ain't no way to behave. He ought to be home.
Mother Gibbs?
Yes, Emily?
Live people don't understand, do they?
No, dear. They don't understand.
Most everybody's asleep in Grover's Corners. There are few lights on. Shorty Hawkins has just watched the Albany train go by, and down at the livery stable, somebody's setting up late and talking. Yes, it's clearing up. There are the stars doing their old, crisscross journeys in the sky. Scholars haven't settled the matter yet, but they seem to think that there are no living beings up there, just chalk or fire. Only this one's straining away all the time to make something of itself. The strain is so bad that every 16 hours, everybody has to lie down to take a rest. 9:05 in Grover's Corners. You get a good rest too. Good night.